Good morning, Facebook world, YouTubers, influencers, bloggers, hustlers. I just want to wish y'all a happy morning. It is January the 9th, 2023. The time is unknown. I just know it's after 12 midnight. Before I start this video, I actually want to give a birthday shout out to an old friend of mine. You know, they know who they are. But basically, okay, back on subject. But basically what I'm doing is this video and these documentaries that I'll be posting to YouTube is just to basically give you an insight on my life and what I've been through and what I'm going through on a daily basis. I feel like something's in my nose. But just to give you an insight on what I've been through a daily basis. I'm not saying that my story supersedes anybody else's in the world. I'm not saying that it's more traumatic, more detrimental. I'm not using no adjective to describe my story. I just want you to basically listen, and to listen not only with your ears, but listen with your heart. Listen with your true intentions on actually getting to know someone. Because someone as vulnerable as I am, it's really taking a lot for me to let people in my life. And the reason why I think that it takes a lot, because going back, I'm 32 years old and I'm originally from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. But the reason why I say that is going back, I might get thrown off. No, I'm not politically correct. I'm not nobody of fame. I'm just an everyday regular person. But my current situation is I am homeless. And as you can see, I am sleeping and staying in my car. Just thinking about some of the things that I'm finna get ready to tell you guys. It has some dark rage. It has some... it has some good times, some good things, some funny things. Because if you know me, I'm a person that's all about sense of humor and wittiness. So, you know, just bear with me. But it's coming from a very emotional place. But I wanted to take you back in the beginning where it all started. Back when I thought that my life had meaning to it. Back when I thought that my life was well-rounded, well-supported. Like I felt like I had my backbone, my ribs. I felt like I had my whole support system. I grew up, like I said, in a small town, Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My family background, I would say my mom's side of the family is pretty much the conservative, reserved, work or go to school type people. And my dad's side would be get it by any means necessary. But going back to my grandmother basically raised me from birth up until she passed away, because unfortunately my mom, she wasn't as stable to take care of me at the time. You know, she was too busy in the streets, you know, doing her thing. She wasn't number 28 years old. So, you know, most 28-year-olds, nowadays you seen people having babies at 12 and 13. So imagine a 28-year-old not stable. But it's life, you know, it's life. But my grandmother, she basically was the rock of my foundation. She kept me in church. She Man, like, that lady was so amazing. Like, I felt the strongest connection with her out of all her grandkids. Even though, I was, at the time I was the youngest, because I don't think Rashonda was born yet. Rashonda or Willie was born yet. Well, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, my grandmother, sweet lady, sweetest lady you could have ever met. And I grew attached to her because there was something inside of her that was just so compassionate and just so real. And sometimes it's hard to explain because, sometimes your words don't always align up with your feelings, so it'd be hard to explain. But my grandmother, I worshiped the ground she walked on. She was a pastor's wife. And to my understanding, before the family was coming into conjunction, before all of us was getting born and we were, learning who we were and how we were related and everything, she transitioned herself from the reputation that everybody perceived her by as a promiscuous woman, and she really just started doing the work of the Lord. Like, I have really seen this woman utilize the Holy Spirit, and it's no game. No game. My grandmother was the real deal. And God called her home in the year of 1995. I was only 5 years old when that happened. Excuse me. So imagine my mom now having to come off the street to deal with, responsibility to deal with me now. And I assume, it was kind of hard for her at first, but people, you got to do what you got to do. But I know I'm all over the place with this story, but this is my first actual recording. But before my grandmother died, I used to sleep with my grandmother. That's just how close we were. I used to be in the middle of the bed between her and her husband. And, like I said, she was a lady that does work for the Lord. So we talking about, my grandmother used to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And I just hear her praying and praying and praying. And just, she was just so full of worship. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. She was so full of worship. And I think I was, maybe 3 years old. I'm sorry. I don't have a ring light or no setup or no production or nothing like that. It's only me, y'all, because this is straight no chaser. This is real. And like I said, that while she was doing that, I would be in the bed. I wouldn't be asleep because I was a light sleeper back then, because I didn't want to miss anything, especially if my grandma was getting up on her way to the kitchen. But I used to fall back sometimes and let her go have her personal time with the Lord. And while she was doing that, I was being molested by, yeah. And it took me a while to come to terms with what was going on. But like, as you learn with these videos with me, I'm gonna keep it real with you at all times. It was never no actual penetration, but it was just touchy-feely and bumping and grinding, you know. But yeah, and I can just remember one morning her actually busting in and catching it. And she just pulled me by my arm out the bed, and she took me into the rocking chair room. She had this sitting room with a green rocking chair that used to be my favorite rocking chair, because it's the only rocking chair that can put me to sleep. And she was singing a song, "If It Had Not Been for the Lord on my side, tell me where would I be?" And she looked down at me and she said, "Baby, I want you to tell me the truth." She said, "Did you touch such and such privacy part?" And she pointed down at mine to signify what she was talking about. And I was like, "No, I didn't." And she was like, "Have he ever touched you?" And when that question came out, just her tone and the level of concern that she was displaying, I'm 3 years old, I instantly just started crying because I thought I did something wrong. And I'm like, well, what did I do? Like, I'm just clueless. Didn't have no clue what's going on. So I kind of, was kind of scared. Like, my safety blanket had came off. And I was just like, like, wow. Like, why would I, crazy. I didn't know anything about nothing like that back then. But I ended up going to stay with my aunt, my mom's sister, my mom's oldest sister. And it was just swept under the rug. Like, I never dealt with it. I never talked about it, because I'm just gonna be honest. In my family, issues like that, we were not equipped with how to work them out. We always created a coping mechanism, and it didn't work. It did not work, especially for me, because after the molestation, now my grandmother's gone. So we never had a chance to clear up that conversation about what happened. I guess everybody just wanted it to be forgotten, but I'm the only person that's left with those feelings and left with those memories. And sometimes I want to feel sorry for myself, because I think that it made me feel like it was right. I've never had the desire for a woman. A woman never turned me on. And I identify as gay, but I'm the type that I would sit back and I would think, what would my life have been like if I would have had that choice? That choice to choose what I wanted to be. But instead I was influenced. And I'm not making it an excuse, because I did grow up and I did decipher the difference between right and wrong. But I remember my grandmother telling someone that the only thing that's stronger than the Holy Spirit is hormones. So it's like I'm trying to defeat something that was introduced to my flesh, and I can't describe it. I don't want to sound like I know, and I don't want to sound stupid by explaining it to you guys, but I got through it. And me and my mom, we actually formed a relationship. You know, we've always had one. I've always knew who my mother was. Don't get me wrong, like my mother was just a loose cannon. But my mom, in order to understand her, you just have to know she had her ways. So she never abandoned me, you know, or nothing like that. She just had to go get herself together. But now me and mom, we're together, and my mom was different. To define different is what I mean. My mom, she was actually a lesbian. But the woman who she was in love with was attached. The woman who she was in love with was married. And in order to be with her, I guess a sacrifice had to be made. Now, I'm not telling you this story because I don't like judgment. Like my videos, I hope even when I start developing subscribers and people that reach out to me, I don't want anyone to be judgmental, because it takes a hell of a lot of work to get behind this, to get in front of this camera and to actually open up and tell the world how you feel and what you went through. But my mom, I can stand on like a solid rock. She was the best. But in order for her to be with whom she wanted to be with, a sacrifice had to be made. And I guess y'all want me to say it, huh? So I guess threesome, menage a trois, however y'all want to put it. But yeah, and that's how I came into play. But to add a little bit of detail to her description, my mom was a very sickly lady. She has sickle cell anemia, which is a blood disease, if I'm not mistaken. So she was very, 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 very sick. Sometimes to the point to where she couldn't take it no more. She couldn't bear. And like me being an only child and me having to go through that, it was like, man, you know, like I said, my grandmother kept me in church. I was a very religious child back then, but I never blamed God for what was going on, because they always told me that, you know, they say that God, he never put no more on any of us than we can bear. But sometimes the pain that my mom used to display was unbearable pain. Like, she used to get in a fetal position and just ball up and just want to shake, and her joints and muscles would ache for hours and hours out of the day. Oh man, she went through a lot of pain. And a lot of people never understood. it comes a time to where you get tired of explaining how you feel, to where you think that some people who be around you should already have a clue as to what you're going through and how you deal with problems, where your mental thinking or where your mental level should be. Like, then you keep trying to explain everything through frustration and anxiety, and it's making you look like you just a person with so many problems. And but yeah, that lady, my mom, she had some pain. And but to know her, to love her, you would have to know her, though, if I said that right. To love her, you would have had to know her. She was a very outspoken person, a very, I was a mama's boy. I'm not gonna tell you I was the only child. So I was a mama's boy. Like, that was my road dog. That was my sis. That was my ace boom coon, or however, yeah, that was it. Like, that was my buddy. And trying to see what car had just came up behind me. Oh, but y'all, I'm sorry I just took that long pause. But just sitting here thinking about this, talking to y'all about my mother. It's bringing back a lot of memories. One specifically is that I remember I was attending Oakdale Elementary School. I think I was 8 years old. And like I said, we never talked about the molestation, or we never talked about the incident of the molestation. So now it has grown attached to me, and I've identified as gay, homosexual. Back then it was known as sissy, faggot, punk, or whatever, derogatory terms. And I couldn't hide it. Like, it was just a part of me, in my voice, in my walk, in my talk, my head twitching and girl and all of that. It had grown to me. And I started acting out on it by writing letters to boys that I thought were attractive. And come on now, y'all, I'm 8 years old. What the hell do I know about a boy being attractive? Like, this is some real sick shit. Like, come on, let's just call it what it is. But two specific boys, I don't want to say no names, but I remember having a journal, and I used to write about them every day. Like, I knew my mind, I knew I was kind of throwed off and sick, because I used to write very detailed letters about these boys, like the way they stand, the way they sit, the way they spit, the way they talk. And it was just, so one day we were actually cleaning out our desk, and my journal fell out of my desk, and my teacher confiscated my journal. And oh boy, I instantly went from the classroom to the counselor suite. And on my way to the counselor suite, guess who beat me there? My mother. Wow. Wow. So, they made copies of the letters, gave them to my mom, had just, making my mom feel like she less than a mother, and, just putting all that unnecessary pressure on her. Like, do she know what she's doing? Do she need help? And I'm listening, and at the time I'm feeling so downright bad because I caused the situation. And she held her ground. She's, you know what I'm saying? She stood, she held her ground. I ain't gonna lie. And when we got home, I haven't seen my mom cry. No, I did not get a whipping. I didn't get a whipping. But I seen that lady cry. She was so disappointed in me that she didn't want to talk. She told me that I was grounded for the next 3 days because they suspended me from school for 3 days of the severity of the situation. And I couldn't talk for 3 days. So my punishment was, if I wanted to, communicate with her, I had to write. And in the meantime, in between time, if I didn't want to say anything to her, I had to write down my feelings like all day. Everything that my head displayed, I had to put down on paper and write. And she wanted it, and she looked at it at the end of each day. She wasn't playing. And on the third day, we had our mother-son talk. But over the 3 days, like, I heard her, like, I think I hurt her severely, crying, and like, she was praying a lot. She was fasting. And on the third day, when I turned in my thoughts, she sat me down and she was like, "Baby, I want to talk to you about what went on." And she apologized for yelling, and she apologized for the way she reacted to the situation. But she was like, "That's not the lifestyle that I want to live." And she asked me, mother to son, she was like, "I want to hear it come out your mouth. Do you like boys?" And y'all, I'm not gonna even lie, like, I feel so bad because I lied to my mother in her face. I lied because I thought that was something that I could either hide or something that I could fix before anybody really, really noticed it. Like, this little hiccup right here, we could get this, you know what I'm saying? I thought gay was actually an act. I didn't know that it was a way of life or a lifestyle, or it's just the characteristic of an individual. I had to grow to learn that. I didn't know that. So I lied. And she said, "Baby, before you lie to me again," she said, "do you like boys? Because if you do, we can get you some help." And I was like, "Well, mama, no, I don't." I said, "I used to." Look at me, I sound like Trey. But I was like, "I used to like boys, mama." And so we talked, and she didn't want to tell me about her past then. So she was saying that she knew a friend, and her friend used to live that lifestyle, and her friend used to live that lifestyle, and that's not the lifestyle that anybody would want, because who would want to wake up to become a part of a people who is nationally, locally, globally hated? So I missed that opportunity for some therapy or some help. And so time went by. She wasn't doing too well as the time was going by. And all those times we was together, all those times that it was just me and her, all those times, even after everything I told you, was some of the stuff that I told you that I did, it still felt good to have somebody to love you regardless, no matter what. It felt good to have somebody to love you unconditionally. Not because they have to, but because you a part of them. You know, somebody who understands that mistakes are supposed to be made in life, and you ain't gonna always get it perfect. You ain't gonna always get it right. I lost that person, y'all. I lost that person. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I lost that person who was supposed to guide me through life, supposed to give me a sense of direction, supposed to teach me how to be a man. My daddy, I can't fault him. You know, he was there, you know, not with us, but, you know, he had other kids, you know, that was actually, he was married. You know, my dad was a Rolling Stone. And he did the damn best he could by us. But it was just too many. You know, I think it's 8, 9, 10 of us. I was the only child by my mom. I also have brothers who are double kin. We're gonna get into all of that. But just a glimpse of the past life that I just gave you guys, and a little taste of the present where I'm at now. You know, most people would have thought I would have got it right by now. I'm supposed to be in a mansion. I'm supposed to be on top. I'm supposed to have it together. But the thing is, time is of the essence. And nobody has an itinerary to life to when anything is gonna get done. But I can say that I take accountability of wasting a lot of time. Being angry, being petty, being bitter. I wasted a lot of time because I felt so misunderstood. I felt so unwanted, like coming out as a gay African American man. Oh man, it's harsh. You know, actually letting somebody know, you know, this is who I turned out to be in life, and they shit on you. They form all these different opinions, and they want to throw the Bible and put it on your forehead. And but anyway, if you enjoyed this first segment to the story, I want you to like this video, subscribe, share. There's gonna be more to come, you guys. I'm gonna be opening up more and more and more, and hopefully I can, you know, create a platform and find, you know, one person, two, if I can just find one that's going through what I went through, and just to tell them that it's not okay to give up. Like, we got a race to run, and we got to keep our Adidas or our Nikes on our feet, because we got to be ready to move when the Almighty say move. You know what I'm saying? That's just a little positive in feed, but I'm about to get ready to end this because I do have to be at work in the morning, but I did want to share this with you guys. Hopefully I can, you know, get some feedback on my focus, my eye contact, or whatever. But you guys, man, y'all remember to be blessed, and remember life is too short, so make the best of what you got. Peace.